waste my life. I don't wanna waste my time. I don't wanna waste my life. It's just some things, there's no going back. You know what I'm saying?
jwoodbeats.com.
Yeah, I'm not the one with the issues. I hear you. Now here is your tissue. If I'm moving too fast, I might have to dismiss you. And it's really too bad, cause I really will miss you. But I'm not the one with the issues. I left him at church when I made it official. I murdered the curse with my own benediction. Left God in the dirt, call it death of the fiction. Superstition will be served in eviction. Competition will be left in the ditch. Oh my God, it's too damn hot in this kitchen. The fishes of men are now swimming with fishes. Oops, my bad, I guess I'm moving too vicious. Verses sold, I gotta put them on your wish list. Bless my soul, cause I'm dodging your little hit list. I guess you know, you just lost another witness.
Gotta let me go, gotta let me go, gotta let me go. Gotta let me go, gotta let me go, gotta let me go right now. Gotta let me go, gotta let me go, gotta let me go. Gotta let me go, gotta let me go, gotta let me go, I'm out of here. I can do anything, fuck your opinions and energy. I finally got the epitome. My biggest hindrance was God can't do nothing but fail. Greater is me, I never needed your deity. All of this human capacity, when it gets rough, I can pick myself up and prevail. Cause I don't need anything other than people who fuck with me. Good business, it starts with the company. That's why your boy is obsessed with community. Cause greater is we can create opportunity. Doing what God never did, cause a God never could, but a people is all we need. Gotta let me go, gotta let me go, gotta let me go, yeah. Gotta let me go, gotta let me go, gotta let me go right now. Gotta let me go, gotta let me go.
What's up, family? Happy Sunday. And of course, welcome to BridgeCity Global. Man, we're really nice to have you here with us. It's so glad to have you back for another weekend, man. BridgeCity is a group of people from all over the globe committed to building community beyond superstition. Of course, my name is DaranteLaMar, and I'm so glad that you're here with us for another weekend of Sunday sessions. We've been doing this since like March of last year.
Yeah.
And since that time, because this began as somewhat of a community experiment for us, has grown from 52 to over 6,000 subscribers with an average attendance of around 400 weekly attendees for our Sunday sessions when the count is all in. So it's really cool. We're launching a new series of conversations today entitled Human Economics, where we're going to be talking about the economics of where we're going to be talking about the economics of building community, and how we can move forward together. So whether you're watching alone, with a friend or a group, we invite you to participate in these transformative conversations with us as we work together as a community to connect over personal exploration and global elevation. So speaking of community, if you happen to get here early on Sundays, consider dropping in our pre-session meet and greets and Discord to get to know some of our awesome community members, which we do have some amazing people in this community. And it's really people that make community happen. So I think I pretty much hit my big stuff. So if you haven't already, make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, hit the alert notification bell, check out the poll in the chat to let us know if you're a first-time guest or a regular. And consider joining, supporting, or connecting with this channel, content, or community in any way that makes sense for you. And of course, check out our merch and our books, which we typically throw those links in the chat. And before we move on to our next segment of the session, if you find this community and these conversations valuable, will you take a moment to share this stream so that it reaches someone who might be in sincere need of secular community this weekend? And if you just shared this, will you let us know by typing in the chat, I shared this? So you can let us know at any moment, I shared this. And go ahead and get ready because we're going to switch out for BridgeCity News.
All right. Hello, everyone.
But thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Darnaya Darice, and I'll be giving this weekend's edition of Bridge City News. So first and foremost, whether this is your first time or you've been here a long time, don't forget to let us know where you're watching from. Thank you for those who have already thrown in the chat. I see we have some people from Kentucky, another fellow New Yorker. Hello. Brooklyn House.
How you doing?
Yeah. How you doing? Our community is intentional about identifying local hubs of support so that we can continue to accelerate the work that we do, building community beyond superstition, because that is the main goal. All right. Also, if you hadn't already, consider getting involved with one or more of our online groups to expand your personal development and community experience. And if you don't see a group that you would be interested in or reflects your needs, let us know and reach out to Dale Gray, aka Advocating for Humanity. Hey Dale, thank you as always, and we'll work to get you supported with some resources to launch a new group. Also, if you're not doing anything on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, join us for Bible study with the ex-pastor. We have some fun in there. We're in the book of Leviticus, and it's been a whirlwind of getting things out of that book. So join us this week. I know it's the holidays for those who celebrate or don't celebrate. Hey, have some fun with us Wednesday night, and you won't be disappointed. Okay, so if you have a little free time, join us there. By the way, Bible Study with the Ex-Pastor is on Spotify as well. So if you're on Spotify, go ahead and check it out also there. And if you would like to join the rotation of weekend warriors, that's what we're calling it, to make these sessions possible. If you have about 3 hours to spare Sunday or Wednesday to contribute to our live sessions, to help us in the background, we would definitely appreciate that. You could just type "I'll help" in the chat, and then one of our moderators will give you a link to our Discord. We'll also have a link to our calendar where you can just sign up on a Sunday or a Wednesday when you're available to help us out. Thank you to those who are already supporting us: Kyle, Amanda, Kai, Muttley, Dale, just for everything that you do, Alyssa, just everyone who has already been helping so far. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. And if you're looking to get active and involved with BridgeCity Global, that's what we call our community here on Sundays. Check out our guide of resources and make sure that you join us every first Saturday in Discord when we develop. We have our Bridge City Dream and Community Development series going on. We had our first one already, and it was great, and we had a good turnout there. Great discussion. So look out for that as well. And if you have some extra time after the show, jump in the post hangout session, chat with other members in Discord so you can commune. Every Sunday you can jump in the pre-session, meet and greet, or the post-session, and you'll see others there as well. Okay, so we'll drop that Discord link in the chat for you. All right, and if you have any other community events that's going on your end, let us know. We would love to post that for everyone as well, so that they can be aware of what's going on in your area or in your life as well. All right. And if you're curious just to how many people are working behind the scenes, making this possible, watch the credits at the end, as my husband said. Keep an eye on the credits because we throw it in there. All right. And without further ado, I'm going to get out your hair for a little bit. I'm going to bring Darante back on the screen. We're going to have our music session.
All right. So last week we didn't do a music session, and I asked y'all how y'all felt about it, and that might be your computer. I asked y'all how y'all felt about it, and or actually it's probably ours. Our computer probably needs to be muted. But I asked y'all how y'all felt about it, and y'all let me know that some of you missed it, and so we're gonna do it again this week. Now again, I can't make a guarantee that we're gonna incorporate this every week until we get some other volunteers, because I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm not about to be singing for y'all for free every week. But no, seriously, major reason that we started incorporating this section is because this is a part of what we want from this community experience, and that's a part of that Bridge City Dreaming thing that Darnaya was just speaking to. is that we're talking about how to build out this campus experience and make sure that it's something that's valuable, that it's awe-inducing, inspiring. And since that we're in this kind of season of holiday festivity, no, I'm not about to play Christmas music, but since we're in this kind of season of that, I did want to talk through some of that with you, or just share with you. My family, we sometimes celebrate Kwanzaa, and because I'm a musician, I've always tried to find creative ways to create songs, that are unique for my family. And so a Kwanzaa song that I wrote one time, I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to sing it just to give you an idea. It was, and by the way, y'all let us know how the audio is doing. We're going to need y'all's feedback. I don't have an audio engineer system set up in here. And even if I did, it would be of no use. I'd just be pressing buttons, But it was like, Habari Gani Leo, Inju Harambe, Pamoja Tunawaita. See, ever since I was a kid, I've always enjoyed just finding melodies, writing songs, and finding things to make things authentically mine. And so this year we've had this conversation about Christmas and how atheists typically approach this holiday and how we could possibly build community, ritual, routine, relationship, whatever you want to call it, around this same time. And of course, as you kind of dig into the research, you realize that the celebrations that take place around this time have always been steeped in very secular, very material, very natural, and very communal ideals. And so for these winter celebrations, these winter festivals, if you will, are ultimately about humanity having to deal with the harshness of winter and learning that community is kind of that key. And so I wanted to just write a little song, and it's not finished, but I had enough words where I felt comfortable sharing it. So that's what we're gonna do. Winter's upon us, but spring is coming. Seasons change, yet we still remain. Hold on to goodness, for there is shelter when we all work to find a way. I'm gonna sing that again just in case y'all didn't get it. Winter's upon us, but spring is coming. Seasons change, yet we still remain. Hold on to goodness, for there is shelter when we all work to find a way. When times are getting hard and days are getting dark, we can make it if we all work. And when you're feeling blue, don't know what else to do, embrace this truth that if we'll all work, we'll find a way. Winter's upon us, but spring is coming. Seasons change, yet we still remain. Hold on to goodness, for there is shelter when we all work to find a way. When we all work to find a way.
of winters. 'Cause we'll make it through together. I'm not afraid of winters. 'Cause we'll make it through together. That's my little Christmas melody. That even when winter's upon us, spring is still coming. And even though seasons change, we still remain. And so we can continue to hold on to goodness. For there is shelter when we all work to find a way. Thank you for allowing me to share this time with you. And I'm looking forward to today's conversation. I got to make it back to my seat. I'll holla.
Oh. How about it? Put this back.
Off mute? More so for closer to the end, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do it now. Hey, whoa. Now, where are we hearing us from? Oh, I know what it is. It wasn't that at all. Okay, I know what it is. This whole time, it was you two. It was you two. Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Say hello to Aston. There's our beagle. I thought I closed the door, but it was cold, so I didn't. Oh, man. Hello. I hope y'all could hear the music and everything, man. I hope that went well. It's nice to see so many of you in here. We do have a different setup. So I am gonna have a little harder time reading the chat today. So y'all gonna have to bear with your boy.
Oh yeah, because the monitor.
Yeah, the monitor's on that side. So which I could switch it, but then my notes would be on that side. Oh man. All right. So how are y'all doing today? Happy Sunday. Happy Winter Festival. Happy Saturnalia. Happy pre-Kwanzaa. Happy pre-Haitian Revolutionary Day. There's a lot of things to celebrate around this time. Isn't John Henry Clark's birthday in January?
Coming up. Yeah.
January 1st, isn't it?
Yeah,
is that his birthday? Yep. So just a lot of things for those of you who are looking for things to celebrate. There are plenty of things to do. Are y'all ready for this new conversation? Because I am. I've been really excited about this one for a long time. One of the things that we kind of pride ourselves on in this community is having conversations about things that matter, having conversations about the issues, having conversations about things that we can actually do and how we can make a difference. And so I think this human economics, I think this series of conversations is going to zig when you thought it was going to zag. And so y'all get ready. All right. Y'all get ready. A foundational idea in any academic conversation is the reality that nothing is truly free. That's a hard one right there by itself. In our finite, causally bound universe, every resource, service, or opportunity carries a cost. What we often call free is not the absence of cost, but rather a redistribution of it, hidden, transferred, or previously observed. Public libraries, free healthcare, or even digital downloads rely on infrastructure, labor, and energy that someone in some time and place must find a way to sustain. The illusion of free often obscures the labor, time, and sacrifices made by individuals and communities. And I think if anybody's ever been a parent, you already know what that feels like. Because children they have a really good association with the illusion of free, because there are things that as parents that we freely provide our children without letting them know the cost, rightfully so, because it ain't our job to overburden them with the cost of everything we provide them. But it sometimes create that illusion that, nah, man, you can just slide the card in the machine again. When you put the card in the machine, you get money. It's there. That's what you do. You're like, no, I don't have any money. Just go to the bank. They're going to give you some more. So it often obscures the real work or the real cost, the real energy, the real effort that goes into things. And you know, be not deceived. This is going to be a conversation about value. In my humble opinion, and I'm already off script, in my humble opinion, you cannot talk about economics without talking about the value of humans. And when economic systems fail, and this is just my hypothesis, when economic systems fail, they fail because we have failed to value each other and to value ourselves. And so I want to say that one more time. When economic systems fail, they fail because we have failed to value each other and have failed to value ourselves. As a person who, I told you, my background as far as political activism is more so in the Black nationalism rank and the Pan-Africanism a sense of things. But one of the ways that I used to define slavery as far as economically is the process of putting people out of a business, putting people out of business where they cannot do business for themselves. When we talk through the conversation of how to human, we ended up coming across this idea that doing business is like a hallmark capacity of the human species. It's literally one of those things that draws a line of distinction between us and the rest of the animal kingdom, that we have the capacity to do business. As a matter of fact, much of the illusion of comfort that we have created for ourselves has come from the capacity to do trade, for the capacity to find different ways to value ourselves and each other beyond the simple utility of just being a hunter or a gatherer. This is a good conversation already. I'm off script, but let me get back on script because we're in the introduction. And we got to get y'all interacting with this chat. So let me get to the introduction so I can give y'all some chat work. But recognizing this truth is critical to self-determination, which is a cornerstone of this series. If we understand that everything we value requires effort, if we value people, y'all hear me out there. And again, you can't talk about economics, in my opinion, without talking about humanity. And that's what we're going to be talking about throughout this whole series of conversations, is the value, that sometimes hidden value, sometimes overlooked value, sometimes underestimated value, sometimes understated value, sometimes undersupported value, but the value of every human being. If everything we value requires effort and intentionality, we can begin to ask, how do we ensure that our labor and our resources align with our shared values? How do we distribute cost and benefits fairly and transparently? These are the economic questions.
And those are good questions
Well,
there.
thank you.
And if we look at self-determination is about reclaiming the agency to make these decisions for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And it's the power to define our collective goals, create systems that reflect our shared values, and take responsibility for their outcomes. And historically, self-determined communities, from cooperative movements to mutual aid societies, have demonstrated the meaningful progress that happens when people come together, pull together their resources, and share risks for the collective good. That's how we got this far.
That's how we've gotten this far. Absolutely.
Yes. And however, systemic oppression, societal expectations, and reliance on external authorities often undermine self-determination a bit, as we have seen over time. And to reclaim it, we must first interrogate the systems we've inherited and imagine how we can sort of reshape them to reflect equality, sustainability, and cooperation.
Yeah.
And I want to correct, equity is what we're looking at there.
Yeah.
And as we embark on this journey, we invite you to reflect on your role within this community and others. How can your skills, passion, resources contribute to the greater good, right? How can we together redefine our economic relationships to reflect our values of mutual support and shared responsibility and creativity?
And again, so throughout this conversation, you're going to hear that word. We're going to talk about value a lot. We're gonna talk about mutual support a lot. We're gonna talk about shared responsibility a lot, because ultimately these are the factors of community building. And so this series is not just a conversation; it's an invitation to engage in collective self-determination. By working together, we can create systems that honor our shared humanity and sustain us for generations to come. Let's not only ask how far have we come, but also how much further can we go? That's what being progressive thinking means. It means, yeah, let's look back and appreciate the bridges that brought us over. But let's also look out beyond, based off of where we are, and say, where can we possibly go? How can we possibly do better? It was Maya Angelou who said it: when you know better, you do better. So I have put myself on a constant journey of knowing better. I want to always know better, exactly, so that I can keep doing better, you know? Yeah. And so will y'all help us do better? Y'all talk to me out there by go ahead and typing "we've come this far" in the chat. We've come this far. That's going to be the name of that's how we're opening up today's conversation. We've come this far. Oh, snap. Look at us. Super sticker. See, we've come this far. Thank you, Native Atheists. We appreciate you.
I still do this, y'all. I be like,
yeah.
I'm humble about.
Oh no, she did this to a Muslim at a gas station one time. Oh, he was not having that. No, that's not what we do. Yeah. But I think he thought she was doing the Hindu thing. He was like, oh no, this is just praying hands, not reincarnation hands. I don't know. Like, let me stop. I'm too much. But no, we've come this far. That does take you back to that. That also, we've come this far by faith. Oh. That's why I was stuck so long, because I was trying to get somewhere by faith, but you can't get nowhere on that shit. Which actually, I don't have a problem with the word faith. I do have a problem with the way the word faith is used in religious context. Outside of religious context, the word faith, we know exactly what it means. If a husband goes to his wife, or wife goes to her husband and says, "You've not been faithful," ain't nobody confused about what the fuck that word means.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no superstitious inclinations at all, you know? Hallelujah. All right. So we've come this far. Using the human error calendar. And if y'all haven't looked at the human error calendar, please go check it out. Just Google it. Just Google human error calendar. And it's beautiful. It's amazing. Even in my fictional universe, and like I've written a lot in my fictional universe, I'm trying to go back and like retcon all my dates to meet the human error calendar, at least all my dates that are relevant to Earth. That's all that matters there. Yes, it is an expansive universe. But because I love everything the human error calendar kind of stands for, I've had, I don't know, I was one of those weird kids in school, and it might be my neurospicy, I don't know what it is, but the calendar just never made sense to me, period. Like the AC, the BC, the AD, the BCE, the CE, and it's just like, and I'm like, you know, at this moment, we just playing fucking games. I don't like these games, you know.
Human error calendar.
Yes. Oh, that's funny. Who put that? I have to know. That is hilarious. Yes, that is hilarious. Yeah. See, I want to see that calendar now. Like, now I can't get away from that thought. I just have a sneaky suspicion that the human error calendar would have a lot of Florida man stuff on there. Like that's like, oh man, like a lot of Darwin, you know, like, yeah, man. But in this case, human error calendar. Please check it out. It's I know Cashapp. I think I said it right. Cashapp. I know they produced one that was really creative, had a lot of fun colors in it. As a matter of fact, if you look at our graphics for this series, we're playing on some of their type of artistic styles in order to kind of pay homage to the work that they did there. But using the human error calendar, we can kind of ground this series in the vast history of human economic evolution. From barter systems and early human settlements to the rise of cooperative economics, we see that humanity has always wrestled with questions of resource allocation, fairness, and purpose. This long view, which y'all know I like to take, reminds us that our current economic systems are neither inevitable nor permanent. They are constructs that can be reimagined, deconstructed, reconstructed, or otherwise improved. I want to just kind of walk through a few key moments in humanity's economic evolution. And mind you, anytime we kind of talk about these things, I present them linearly because that's how conversations work. We don't have the capacity to have a conversation that's anything other than linear in time constructs. But we are aware that these systems did not evolve in such a linear fashion. So the first one is barter systems, which I kind of mentioned. I think you just got kicked out of the studio. Barter systems, which I mentioned, and that's the earliest form of trade that relied on direct exchanges, laying the groundwork for complex economic transactions by emphasizing mutual benefit and trust between parties, which is basically the base. Like, this is the foundation of economic relationship, right? Trust me, you're not going to feel like you're in class the whole time. This is going to get good, but just stick with me for a minute. So from barter systems, then we end up running into the agricultural revolution eventually, because I believe the idea of the human era calendar is that it's been how many years? 20,000 as of next year, 25 years since humanity started kind of developing as a for some people don't like the word civilized, so I'll say socialized as a that was able to make some things happen and leave a mark that could be traced anthropologically and historically. So, man, can't stay the duration. Love y'all and wishing a great holiday season. We'll catch up in the new year. Love you, Kurt. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you.
Hey, Jason, thank you for jumping in.
Jason, what's up, bro? And so the pivotal shift to settled farming communities created the first surplus communities, surplus economies, enabling trade, specialization, and the development of early societal hierarchies. And that, that's a shift that I think we've taken advantage of, how long surplus has been a part of our societal infrastructure globally, ever since surplus wasn't created with the Industrial Revolution. It's been a part of us ever since the agricultural revolution, ever since we started shifting to having those settled communities where we are, watch this, working together. And so it seems the more that we find ways to work together, the more economic possibility we create for ourselves as a species. Again, when we started, the earliest I can remember, well, not remember because I wasn't there. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. Fuck y'all. You've been here before. Been here before. That's what I used to say when I was a kid. That little boy been here before. But from the earliest I can remember, there used to only be two jobs: hunter, gatherer. That was it. Those are your two jobs. You're like, mama, I want to sing. You can't sing. Ain't nobody making no money in singing. You got a hunter.
Keep your head out the
clouds. That's right. Keep your head out the clouds. Hunters and gatherers, And then, but over our evolution as a societal species, we have expanded in our identity in such a beautiful way that I don't think we talk about enough, and maybe it's just because I'm weird like that, but just to imagine that we go from only having two options to being in a place now where if we tried to write down all the options, I don't think we could. I think the possibilities of what you could choose to do with your life and create value are it has changed so much. And I think, and y'all forgive me for being this progressive prophet, but my mindset goes, I think a part of that comes from becoming a more progressive society. The more progressive we are, the more open we are, the more accepting we are, the more embracing we are, the less we are to try to legislate other people's morality. Because the moment you start legislating other people's morality, you're also legislating their economic options in life.
Right.
I'm preaching better than y'all responded now. Damn, that was good. Woo! Prehistoric confirmed. I love it. Thank you, Muttley. We appreciate you, man. So I think it's really beautiful, man. Yes, get bartered away for us. Yeah, man. Keystone Light. I ain't mad at it. Oh man. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are awesome. And so we've given ourselves more room, right? And now, it used to be a time where you could only identify as one thing to be respected. If you identified as more than one thing, and we're talking just economically now, you were considered a jack of all trades, master of none, which is an incomplete use of that.
Yes.
But we'll come back to that later. But now, like, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a musician, I'm an author, I'm a content creator, I'm a computer programmer. You know what I'm saying?
Designer, if you mean.
I am a designer. Yeah, I do design. I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, I'm an operations manager. I'm a program manager. You know what I'm saying? Like
mentor.
Like I do a lot. But that's how much my identity has been able to expand. Mm-hmm. And like some of you have that, like I remember, and I think I mentioned it on this channel a lot because I know we have people on this channel who are gamers. But like I remember when gaming was a waste of time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But because of the work, the more we work together, the more gamers built gaming communities, they built a gaming economy that benefited more than just the people making the games. Yeah. They created an economy where people who were playing the games could start earning from games. But that's the same thing that society somehow, our fascination, which I'm getting ahead of myself here, but okay, let me stop. All right, big point is agricultural revolution. We started farming and shit, and we got into surplus economies, which then gave us more time to figure out what else we wanted to do and who else we wanted to be. And then we got into the industrial revolution, which yikes, right? That's the rise of capital-driven economies, and labor specialization reshapes the economic landscape, introducing mass production, which I'm glad we're finally on the other side of that one. Urbanization and a reliance on machinery and energy resources. But then we get to modern cooperative economics. And it's this phase and forward where we're going to be spending our conversational times. And that's emerging trends in shared ownership and decentralized systems, such as platform cooperatives, blockchain-based economies. These things allow communities to take greater control over their own economic futures by sharing both the risks and the rewards. R&R. Yeah. I like that, R&R. And along with that, you have the digital economy and something that I've been studying for over a decade now, which I think everybody calls it this now, social influence. When I first developed it, I was calling it the social influence theory. And this was before, at least before I knew of, there was really any such thing on a large scale as a social influencer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's another identity that did not exist, even though it kind of did. There's always been social influencers. Yeah. There's always been people who could influence other people. People in commercials. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We've just now gotten to a place where we can monetize that influence, for lack of better words. But so the digital economy, you get the rise of digital economies. So technology has introduced entirely new economic models, from e-commerce to the gig economy. You got platforms like Amazon, Uber, and even Patreon have redefined how value is created, shared, and consumed. You got social influence and content creation, where you got platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, which now play a direct role in generating economic value simply through engagement. Which if you remember, we talked a little bit about that in our the work series, about how people doing the small things in these sessions generate economic value. When you like the video, when you subscribe to the channel, when you hit that alert notification bell, But when you comment under the videos, shout out to fire starters who comment under these videos after the lives to make sure that other folks know, hey, that it was hot in here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the fire starters. But then also when you're engaging in the chat, when you're typing things in the chat, when you're hitting that love button, everybody just hit the love button real quick. Can you tap it? Just tap the love button. I wish we could see the love button when y'all tap it. That would be nice. You know, I'm telling you, I wish we could see it. Like when it popped up, I want to see the love. I want to see the love. I want to feel the love. But, you know, when you do those things, it actually generates economic revenue, which creates a democratized form of income generation, which I do find absolutely beautiful. We've also seen the power of crowdsourcing and micro economies. So social media and crowdfunding platforms like GoFundMe, Kickstarter, and Patreon have enabled individuals and small groups to finance ventures, innovations, or personal needs through the collective support of their networks. So just a quick little, you know, one of my little rabbit trail stories here. Like I've been stressing, you know, literally since March about what to do with our Patreon and our YouTube members. Because of course, y'all know I don't have bandwidth to do a lot more than what I'm already doing. But then number two, I'm like, man, people are literally signing up to my Patreon to support me. And I don't know how to build like a Patreon support system that they really like, you know? But what amazed me is I was going and looking through the entrance interviews that people fill out, the little entrance surveys where they're telling you why did they join? Why did they decide to support? And everybody, 100% of people who decided to participate in one of those surveys, 100% of them, the answer is to financially support the creator. Period. Like no expectation of anything else. It's just, I want him to be able to continue to do this. Wow. Like that's beautiful. Yeah. That's the power of community. Because that's what you're seeing in digital economy is you're seeing digital economy take the principles of community and sometimes use them in healthy ways and other times use them in exploitative ways. But at the end of the day, that's what you're seeing, which allows for innovations and personal needs to be taken care of through the collective support of these networks. And we've also seen a shift to decentralized economies. So you got blockchain technologies, which I'm like completely out of the loop on, and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. By the way, you're not really going to ever hear me out here trying to sell you on some stuff like this. I follow one rule of investing. I don't invest in nothing that I don't know nothing about. You don't know it. Which means I don't invest in a lot of things. So don't take investing advice from me. Don't do that shit. You're going to set yourself up. You're just going to be out here not investing in nothing because that's what I do. I invest in myself, God damn it. Now let me stop. All right. So that. And then technology has also enabled cooperative economics to flourish on a larger scale through tools like crowdfunding, peer-to-peer lending, and time banking platforms. These innovations align with principles of collective work and responsibility, allowing communities to pool resources and achieve shared goals more efficiently. And so this week's conversation, we've come this far, focuses on self-determination as the bedrock of sustainable community economics. It challenges us to reflect on how our actions today can shape a more equitable future, just as generations before us reshape their worlds to bring us here.
Yeah. And so as we step into year 12,025.
12,000.
Just add 10,000 to 2025.
I had added 20,000, didn't I? I did.
Oh, human social progress is essential to reflect on how far, of course, we've come in understanding, shaping, involving the systems that sustain us. And so economics at its core isn't about numbers or markets alone. It's about the choices we make, right? As communities, individuals, to navigate resources, relationships, and responsibilities. And so this series, Human Economics, invites us to challenge conventional wisdom, dismantle superstition, and reimagining our collective potential, which we should be doing anyway.
Absolutely. And one such superstition we aim to confront is the pervasive idea that the love of money is the root of all evil. Like even in secular communities, I often hear that type of undertone. And I'm like, okay, let's just separate from that bullshit altogether. Anything you ain't got no evidence of, any idea that you pulled based from the Bible, let's just go ahead and kick that shit down the road. All right. No, this oversimplified narrative dismisses the nuance of human intention, cooperation, and survival strategies. The truth is, currency, like any tool, is neutral. It reflects the values and systems that we attach to it. Instead of vilifying the tool, we should interrogate how we use it and who benefits from its flow. In the spirit of this conversation, I'd like to recommend a book that our research team, Alyssa, did the work of making available for support resources. So I have a lot of rabbit holes that I got a lot of rabbit trails that I have to take right here. The first one is like, to me, and y'all would notice this about me, this is why I do take a different approach to a lot of ideas than other folk. This is why y'all have never heard me describe myself as anti-religious. I've always defined myself as anti-superstitious, you know, because most things to me are tools that have been misused.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You preach.
I'm preaching, you know, it's just a tool. And you need to retool the tool sometimes, you know, and that's part of the reason why I do the work that I do. That's why my work on Monday through Friday is so assertive. It's in many ways to force churches to retool their tools. Yeah. You know, the secular community is about to be competitive. The secular community is about to be marketable. The secular community is about to be attractive. And that's going to make the churches, the superstitious communities, have to grow the fuck up. Yeah. In order to keep up. Yeah. And this, you know, this is unapologetically my strategy. You didn't know before, this is the strategy. This is to force the superstitious communities to have to grow up to keep up. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm. All right.
Grow up to keep up. That's a show.
That is. It sounds like a song. Grow up to keep up. That's all we do. What was that? Break up to make up. That's what that was. But then also, this other rabbit trail that I wanted to hit was Alyssa, because we did our BridgeCity Dreaming Community Development Series. We did the first one in December. We got the next one coming up in January. And we talked about what our kind of big fives that we're focusing on in 2025: online community experience, multimedia maximization. We're going to be focusing on community sustainability and viability. But one of those things that was in there was the need for research support, because a part of our values as a community is to be safe, secure, soft, and sound. So to make sure that all of our information that we're sharing is as sound as possible, you know. And so one of the teams that we wanted to see built in this community is a research team. And in the community development series, in our first session, I said, now I know we probably won't get this one for a while. So this ain't focused because most people don't really want to do research. You know, like I had all of these reasons in my head why the music portion and the research portions were going to take us the longest to get. Yeah. And like immediately after that session, like, and I was kind of talking about it, Alyssa reached out. And she was like, well, hey, I have access to the Library of Congress and this and this. And she was like, what you want to do? And I was like, well, we have our next series coming up in like a week on human economics. You know, can you give me anything on economics? And not only did she pull a whole bunch of resources, she pulled the resources, put them in a folder, and then created a guide that walked me through what each resource was. That had an overview of it, you know. Like it was beautiful. Like I was like, yes.
Annotation.
And then what I loved about that is that it further helped me think through shit, because that I'm a thinker, goddammit. And I love to have variables to think about. So I literally sat down. I'm tempted to pull it up right now to walk y'all through it. But I literally sat down and started thinking through, ooh, okay, now so if we do actually build up and have more people like Alyssa who are a part of the research team, what does that team now needs to look like? And then what other teams do we now need? And damn, how soon do I need to have my shit planned out now in order for other people not to get backed up and be waiting on me? So I like while I was supposed to be working on this yesterday, getting these notes together, I was also having to kind of chase that rabbit to figure out like, oh, how are we going to have to restructure to make this even more functional? But it was like, for lack of better words, it was a blessing. to have someone fulfilling that need in the community
Right.
right away. And then I think even Kai mentioned that he was interested in doing stuff like that too. And I'm like, damn, I got to stop underestimating stuff. I got to stop undermining things as well. You know, like we all, like, I just automatically think research team, that's not exciting, you know, and that's some of my pastoral baggage too, though, right? Because like at the church, everybody wants to be on the music team. Nobody wants to usher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to do the exciting things. And so that's the assumption.
And that's funny. When I was working with the doctors, with landing them roles, a lot of them wanted a research role.
Yes.
They
Yes.
looked for those.
Well, see,
wanted,
yes. That's the smart ones to me.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so I did want to hit that. And Alyssa, if you're watching, thank you so much for your support. I'm loving the way that our community is growing. We're getting, you know, we're still like the Power Ranger Megazord missing a few bodies. You know what I'm saying? But we are limping along, man. We got our campus team growing, groups team growing, missions team growing, now our research team growing, our hosting team growing. It's beautiful. So, but the book that I wanted to suggest to y'all is a book called Economics for Humans by Julie A. Nelson. In the book, she critiques the dominant economic metaphor of systems as amoral machines operating under fixed laws. This mechanistic view separates ethics from economics, implying that markets and profits are independent of human values or morality.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling y'all, it's a really good read. And because of our research team, guess what that means? That means we can make this book available to all of our community for free. Yeah. Like, that's the power of having little people in place. And just because you said that, I now have to go to the notes. I'm not going to pull them up on the screen because I don't want to deviate us too bad. And I got to find it too.
All right, wait.
Yes, community developer, content creation. I'm not going to be able to find it. I don't think. Oh, no. Yeah, here it is. Having that research team. Okay, so not only does it allow us to support community conversations with sound information, that shouldn't have an S on it, but I put it there anyway for some reason. But they also help curate a library of resources that are categorized by Sunday session series. And those resources can be made available to our team members. You know, they can provide helpful resource references and guidebooks for conversation leaders, for community members, and for supporters. And so just in many ways, that having that small additional arm of support creates real resources and tools for people within the community and creates another stream of revenue from people outside of the community. So it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah. But yes, so this is a book that you all have access to for those of you who are members of our community. The book argues for reintegration of ethics into economies, emphasizing that economies are created. I got to bring my mouse back over here. Are created and sustained by human choices, which are inherently value laden. Nelson challenges the belief that economic growth automatically serves the common good, advocating for a more holistic perspective, which I did think was incredibly interesting. Because the argument of people who tend to view economics to be naturally void of ethics are also the people who attach to the idea that good economies automatically serve the common good. And so it's very interesting. And so she takes a very different approach and says that, no, actually, all economies are intricately related to human ethics, and you really can't separate that. But even knowing that, you can't have the assumption that a good economy contributes to human good. You have to have a more holistic perspective, which is it's resisting the urge to simplify. Right? You know? Mm-hmm. So Nelson also dismantles common myths such as the inevitability of self-interest as the primary driver of markets and the incompatibility of ethical behavior with profitability. Nelson proposes a vitalized metaphor for economies, emphasizing their role in fostering human flourishing and sustainability.
So economics is not the study of money or getting rich. It is the study of the stock market. It is the study of people and choices, the study of the utility of income and outcomes. Economics is ultimately obsessed with people and how we organize ourselves with the intention of flourishing and sustainability, leveraging our resources, relationships, and responsibilities. And the one thing I did like about Alyssa Note, she mentioned the crash course economics series, which I actually had one of our daughters, when we used to homeschool, I had her watch some of those episodes too. So it's a great series if you want to look at that as well.
Crash Course is an awesome resource. I absolutely love it.
Yes, and in economics, resources and relationships reflect what we have and who we have access to, but responsibilities speak to what we do with our resources and relationships in support of the existence of our community.
Absolutely. And so just speaking of these resources, I pulled together a kind of list, and I may have gotten a little carried away with this list. But in the work that I do, both in my corporate day job and in my entrepreneurial work, I deal with people who I find are constantly struggling with this type of imposter syndrome, of not really knowing how to value themselves. And I do think that is one of the dangers of being a part of not only just a capitalistic society at times, but also just a society so caught up in sensationalism. You have no idea how many times I've seen people wrestle with the idea of their personal value because their story wasn't as sensational as somebody else's. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In the church world, they say, well, like my testimony ain't like that. I don't have that type of testimony. Like people usually say, I don't feel like I have a testimony because like we've been so like triggered, for lack of better words, by this idea that everything needs to be over sensationalized. But then just from this capitalistic standpoint, where people are 100% in many cases attach their value to their economics, to their economic standing in life. And it's not even their full economic standing, it's just their finances. And so there are people who feel like they are less valuable, and not even in a sense less valuable, but less fucking capable than others because they don't have financial currency. And so what I want to do, since we're talking about economics and we're talking about economic resources, I wanted to really drive home this point that money is just one form of currency. Yeah. There are several other forms of currency that are economically valid in any nation. There is no nation that is dependent on one form of currency. There is not. And as we kind of go through this list a little bit, you'll see that. Like the first one I'm gonna, and some of y'all might be able to think of these immediately. Time is a form of currency. You know what I'm saying? That's why employers pay for it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like people pay for gold because it is a form of currency. You know what I'm saying? People pay for your time because it is a form of currency. And basically, currency just means the quality of being current. Which I think a better way to say that, currency is just the quality of being useful. Yeah. It's something that can be useful and that can be exchanged. So time, the amount of time someone dedicates to a task, an activity, or even the amount of time someone dedicates to a person, this is often considered one of the most valuable non-monetary currencies, especially in service-based exchanges, volunteering, or community work. But comedy work works too. It works, right? There's also energy, physical and mental effort expended on tasks, relationships, or work. Energy can refer to the vigor, the enthusiasm, or the commitment you apply to achieving a goal. These are forms of currency. Your labor is a form of currency. The work, I know a commitment I made in 2017 is that I'm not going to spend all this time working for other people and never work for myself. You know what I'm saying? So there's some work that I do that nobody has to pay me to do because I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it for today. I'm doing it for tomorrow. Y'all don't hear me. I'm preaching better than y'all responding in this atheist church. So my labor, and that's what I learned in 2017. It was a lesson that I taught myself. that, you know, if the only work I'm going to do is the work that I'm getting paid for, then I've already limited what I can get from my life.
Right.
Because other
That
people
is
aren't going to really pay me to do the things that I want to be doing with my life. And it's the things that I want to be doing with my life that I can get the greatest value from.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to be willing to do those things at cost for a while, which means, I mean, like, isn't that
You're
how
volunteering for yourself?
I'm volunteering for myself? That's it. I'm the first volunteer. I am he, you know. But no, seriously, your labor, that's the work, your skill, your expertise. These are things that can be exchanged directly for goods or services, particularly in barter systems or cooperative economic arrangements. Which I grew up in a community that still had the at some of the lingerings of some of these type of things. So we had people in the neighborhood who grew vegetables and stuff and sold them to other people in the neighborhood. We had people in the neighborhood who bought candy and shit and cakes and Debbie's Cakes wholesale and sold them in the neighborhood. But we also had people in the neighborhood who were contractors and construction workers, that anybody had something break down, you know, in their house or something, you can call somebody within the neighborhood to come and kind of help you work on that. We also had people in the neighborhood who took one of the little properties behind their house and turned it into a juke joint, little pool hall. So the people in the community would have something to do after a long day of work. And this is how you build community. Now that community ultimately fell apart. Well, I can tell you a lot of reasons, but it fell apart because the kids grew up and discovered that they could live in other neighborhoods. And so they moved. And so nobody continued. Everybody scattered. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Economies fall when ain't nobody maintaining the economy. You know,
that's it. Yeah.
Which there, you know, I got a lot of thoughts here, but let me not get on my black nationalist platform, because I will. But no, there's so much. There's so much more to you than your financial status. There is so much more to your economic reality than how much money you have in the bank or how much money you have in your pocket. And this is so important because there are many of you who are even a part of this community who think, oh man, I may not be as valuable because I can't bring this type of money. And maybe when I can bring this money, then I'll be valuable. No, fuck that shit. Get that shit out of your head. If you met your time, don't you dare make your time less valuable than money. Don't you dare make your energy less valuable than money. Don't you dare make your labor less valuable than money. If y'all really catch what we're talking about how many people are sleeping on themselves and don't know it. Yeah. You ain't learned how to manage your time yet. You haven't learned how to manage your energy yet. Yeah. You haven't learned how to manage your labor yet. Because once you really realize how valuable these things are, you will realize how often you give these things away without exchange. Yeah. Oh man. Oh.
Even your expertise. There's people who pay people $25,000 just to get an hour of in their expertise.
Yes. Absolutely. So attention. Attention is another one. The focus and mental presence someone gives to a task, individual, or a cause. In today's digital economy, attention has become a form of currency. This is how you create a social influencer. As content creators often exchange their attention for views, likes, and engagement, right? So last year, I had somewhat of a life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Last year, I had somewhat of a life. I was still hyper productive, but I had weekends. I had nights. You know what I'm saying? That's somewhat of a life. These likes, views, and engagement have earned my attention. That's Do you see how that works? You see how that works? Like, you have my attention. Why is he posting content every day? Because you have my attention. That's valuable. Social capital. That's the value derived from personal networks, relationships, and social connections. Building trust and goodwill within a community or social group can provide opportunities and support in return. I hope we're catching what we're talking about on this list. You got knowledge and information, you have skills, access, because then this isn't just showing you, this isn't just demonstrating all of the different forms of currency that you're working with as an individual, but saying that, you are a multi-currency individual. You have separate flows of currency that you can be working with, but it also shows how easy it is for community when working together to create things that are valuable. So kind of going back to piggybacking off of what I was talking about earlier about what having a research team is allowing us to be able to do potentially for our community. One of those things is access. So providing access to resources, spaces, or opportunities. This can include things like access to information networks or even physical locations. This allows us to give people access, and access itself is a form of currency. And so this list literally goes on to favors, creativity, knowledge networks, goodwill, which are positive actions, kindness, and support that build a strong community. It fosters a sense of cooperation and mutual benefit that can be exchanged in various community-driven settings. The big point here is that, man, you have so many different forms of value that you can be operating in, that you can be flowing from, that you can be walking in, and that you don't have to look down on yourself. You don't have to define yourself by a capitalistic measurement of value, because even and that's not even, it's not even proper to call that a capitalistic measurement of value. Because even the capitalistic version has to recognize the value of those other currencies. Otherwise, you wouldn't have an economic system. And so your time is valuable, your energy is valuable, your labor is valuable, your choices are valuable. These monetary currencies all play essential roles in building relationships, creating value, and developing sustainable economies that focus on human well-being and collective responsibility. A hyper-focus on monetary currency has created a cognitive paradox in most minds, where money is perceived to be as an item of real value instead of perceived appropriately as an item of representative value, which has the unfortunate side effect of people feeling or believing that their capacity to contribute is nullified until they have money.
So your monetary bank account doesn't have to block the flow of your time, bank energy, love, skills, etc. And one of our goals in life is to help our species remember just how rich in capacity we truly are. That wealth and economic flourishing is simple. It's simply a social illusion of our own imagination construction. And so if we can increase the amount of people who see authentic value in themselves, which is very important, beyond the confines of money, we can accelerate positive change across the globe. And so there's some things we're uniquely empowering ourselves to accomplish as a people-centric community that gathers weekly, right? And one of those is participatory and decision-making, involving community members in shaping priorities and policies, ensuring transparency, accountability in the decision-making process. And that adds value in its own.
Absolutely.
When you have a community who can participate together to make decisions and you really feel a part of it and that you have value.
Well, see, that's the only way you protect yourself against marginalization. That's the only way you protect your community against discrimination is that everyone has to have a voice, and every voice has to be heard. Otherwise, you don't have enough variables to consider. And so what happens in it's like a two-winged bird. You have both the issue of systemic oppression that is keeping people outside of being involved. But then you also have, generally, because of generational systemic oppression, you get apathy, economic apathy, political apathy, social apathy, where individuals end up waking up every day living their best life without doing what's in their best interest.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
how did we
so
slip up on that? Because that's if you want to, like, I know way too many people, and I know this because this is the work that I've been trying to do for 10 years. So this is why it's easy for me to call out when other people are being disingenuous when they're talking about things. Because I was the one down to go. No, I was the one say, hey, let's go get the land. Let's all move on it. Let's start over. Let's grow our own food. Let's start from scratch. Started to find out that sounded a little too much like work to other folks.
Like work, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when you got to really think through the logistics of this shit. No
electricity.
Yeah. Like, because honestly, the less people you have working on a problem, the harder it is to solve that problem. The less people you have working on a problem, the more people have to carry the weight to solve that problem. And so, like, man, it gets really hard when you have not thought about the division of labor and what that little economic breakthrough did for humanity. Then you don't really understand what you're asking for sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But no, it becomes incredibly important, and this is something that we're definitely keeping our intention on as a community, is that everybody has to stay involved. You want your voice not to be overlooked. Keep talking, keep showing up. That's y'all know me. The superstition that I think that we've developed as a species is somebody else is going to do what's in my best interest. You have to be the best representation of your best interest.
And I like how this shows, and this has been your life and your growth, is that you took away the mysteries of things.
Oh yes.
The mystery of money, or the
I don't like mysteries.
Of everything.
I like to solve this shit.
Yeah.
Let's Scooby Doo this motherfucker real quick. All right. Like how much longer we're gonna be here? Yeah. Like no, that for me, like I have to be clear on things, And so, but that's what protects everybody. Your building community is your superpower. Participating in community is your superpower. It's how you take those things that matter to you and group up with other folks to make sure that those things are accurately reflected in the world around you. And the more you're able to amplify that through the voice of community, the more others who identify that are able to find that and resonate with it and say, oh, those are my peeps. That's my tribe. That's my vibe. They are playing my fucking jam. You know what I'm saying? But they won't know that if you're not doing what's in your best interest. And see, and that's the paradox. The most disappointed, the people who are the most frustrated that I know right now are all people who wake up every day living their best lives while not doing what's in their best interest, which is why they're so disappointed in their best lives. Because you can't get your best life by ignoring your best interest. You're never going to get there. You're never going to get your best life. And just to be honest, I don't know what the fuck your best life is. Just going to be honest here. But the big point is you have to do what's in your best interest, which means you have to be looking for those things. Yeah. And it's really hard to do what's in your best interest if you don't even know what's in your best interest. Like you don't even know what you're interested in. You don't know where your interests lead. And this is why we spend more work in these conversations on this channel on self-work. There are plenty of channels that are telling you what to think about other people and how you should feel about their humanity. On this channel, especially on these Sundays, we want to focus on self-work so that we can do more us work. We work. We work. But so yeah, this allows us. Community is building cooperatives. By doing so, we empower members through shared ownership. This allows us to develop social enterprises that prioritize community benefits over individual profits. Groups right now are a small stepping stone towards that direction. Because right now we can have groups on, Black people interests, white folks' interests. Please don't name it white folks only. Don't do that shit. Don't name it whites only. That's not going to go over good. But, you know, white folks group, mixed folks groups, ladies groups, men's groups, you know, freaky people groups, you know, naughty by nature groups, whatever, food groups, you know, interest groups, reading groups, bowling groups, fishing groups. But eventually those groups evolve. Some of those groups evolve from being just interest groups to becoming action groups, where people say, this is something that I really want to do, you know. I think this is something that we could do, and this might generate revenue. This might generate revenue to do something for the community. This might generate revenue to create new positions of opportunity for people. Like, that's where you get into the economic understanding of things. But it goes back to the work series, which is why we had to talk about the work before we got into economics, because I needed you to understand that even when you're not doing big work, that wax on, that wax off, just by doing those groups, you know? So like, for example, a personal passion project of mine, that's actually how I ended up writing my first novel, is I tried to start a small group of writers, and it was called Freedom House. Freedom House is now our publishing company. It's only our publishing company because we couldn't find other people to commit to just, the goal was we just get a whole bunch of people who write for fun, who write as hobbies, and they commit to writing on some of the same storylines, you know. Everybody put their ego aside, and we're just going to write this story the same way you would do if you got a job as a writer at a television studio. You know what I'm saying? You're going to work with a team of writers, and each one of you are going to pick your characters and shit like that. And the reason I wanted to do that, because I realized I love stories, but I realized we could mass produce stories that way. If you got a team of community writers of 30 to 50 people who just love writing and you know, take 2 to 3 hours a week to spend some time working on a project, in about a year's time, you can have 10 or 20 books done, completely finished. And then now you can sell all of those books, and that generates revenue for that writers collective, you know. See, it's often the small ways that we don't work with each other. You know, almost every time I found a group of people struggling, the biggest thing they were struggling to do was to work together. And if I could have ever convinced them to stop struggling by themselves and to start struggling together, you know what I'm saying? And this is one of the reasons why Kwanzaa was so much more special to me than Christmas was. Like, I love, you know, I like the lights and shit, but Christmas always felt like bullshit to me. Now that I am, you know, a more secular materialist, a naturalist, I can appreciate the celebration of the seasons changing. I can appreciate the celebration and the commemoration of the anthropological social struggles that we had with having to deal with the darkest days and how community had to become for that. And that's what those winter festivals are about. They're celebrating us coming together. But Kwanzaa, for me, like much of the stuff I share from a community development perspective is coming from principles from Kwanzaa. This is Kuchi Jakalia. This is Kuumba. You know, this is self-determination. This is creativity. This is cooperative work. Literally, the principles of this series I pulled from Kwanzaa for that reason. But anyway, all right. So I think this is your part. Well, I think we're back on track.
Yeah. So this uniquely also can empower ourselves to build on skill development and education, so we can invest in programs that teach skills relevant to local needs and global changes, which fosters critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration. Those 3 C's there. So we like that. And community work allows us to lower the cost of education, skills training, and financial literacy, and via volunteer programs, which we have so much experience in that, even as growing up as teenagers in this field, and trying to, even within recent years, get people together to invest in programs that teaches skills, you know. And so,
yeah. And then, of course, sustainability initiatives are another ways that communities such as ours can make a difference. We can implement practices that minimize environmental impact, such as renewable energy projects and circular economies. align economic goals with the principles of ecological balance and intergenerational equity. And the big idea here is to, as we're building community, as we're growing, is to always, like, oh, I hate to use this language, but to keep your eyes on the prize and to recognize that the prize is going to be different for different people. And that's the beauty of community. This is, to me, this is the advantage that community has over corporations. Corporations typically have an invested interest towards one way, one thing, you know. So everybody who's jumping on has to be jumping on to do this one thing. You got to be jumping on to help us do Facebook, or you got to be jumping on to help us do whatever else is out here. But community is, we're coming together to exist together. And some of us who exist together will be really passionate about people who are suffering from houselessness. Some of us will be really passionate about environmental issues. Some of us will be really passionate about social issues. All of us will care about all of the issues. But those some of us that really care about those other issues will be able to find each other in the community, benefiting from the support of the larger community to make that difference and become the voice of that cause within the community, to be able to educate the members of the community in different ways that these things, because I can't be the voice on environmental justice. Trust me, you don't want me to be the voice on environmental justice. I care about environmental sustainability. I don't know enough about it to come up with any useful plan. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But enough people who join this community, who care about environmental sustainability, who find each other. Yeah, I had this whole shit blown up. You don't want me doing the environmental sustainability part. You know, I'm the dude that was out there burning styrofoam and shit. Not me. But there will be people who come in here, who join our community, where that's their passion. And then they're going to find other people who join our community where that's their passion. And then they're going to experience a little agitation for a while, right? Because they're going to be like, I love everything this community is doing, but nobody's doing environmental sustainability. And then I'm going to say, this is a great opportunity to start a group and to create this conversation. And let's get some momentum around that. And then eventually we're going to have it on the calendar and everything. There'll be a whole series of environmental sustainability. And what better time to do it than around springtime and stuff, you know? But the point is, that's the power of community, is that the more people, as we grow and continue to stay in tune to our interests and stay intent with the change that we want to see in the world, we're going to find those opportunities to create that.
And so then you also, together as a community, can strengthen local economies, which we kind of touched on. We can support local businesses, artisans, and farmers through community buying programs and fair trade practices. We can develop infrastructure that enables small-scale enterprises to thrive as well. And as we establish those local campuses, they can undergird local businesses, and that kind of helps the flow there, right?
Yeah.
And it helps from helping our local farmers are trying to gather people to do that can help. It can essentially go into helping with our health
absolutely
issues, right? Because
food
we're not dealing with food that's coming from afar and waiting for that.
Yeah. Like one of the things that you know, and again, this just comes from my Black nationalist days. One of the things that I am a firm kind of advocate for is I am not interested in solutions from a system that has already demonstrated itself to be oppressive and untrustworthy. That's just, and this is one of the reasons why I fell in love with community organizing. Because even churches, for all of their ills, and damn it, there's a lot of them, churches are able to do a lot of good. And y'all know I've done my talk on this, so don't be coming for me right now. But churches are able to do a lot of good simply because they're organized, you know. and the secular community can start making similar strides for sure. Obviously, it won't happen overnight, and it would be nice if it did. It really would be nice if it did. There's way too many people out here struggling. Way too many people out here struggling. So it really would be nice if it did. But no, as we establish local campuses, they can undergird local businesses in real ways. They can help create, help support local businesses, help create new businesses, help support young entrepreneurs. Old entrepreneurs, shouldn't matter what age they are. I don't know why I said young, but support entrepreneurs in their community. You can help. You can solve problems, but if you only measure yourself by the way that other people view you, you'll never realize how powerful you truly are. And if you measure power by sensationalism, you'll never understand the power of wax on, wax off. If you got to see to know that something is working, then you're going to be missing your moments. But if you can understand just the simple power of wax on and wax off, you know what I'm saying? That doing these small things matter, that just building community matters, that just building conversations around the important things matter, and that by doing that, it creates energy, it creates space. And when you got enough energy in enough space, then damn near almost anything is possible, And so to kind of start wrapping up here, we want to close this out because we started this conversation with self-determination, because this is the biggest thing about economics, especially from a community perspective, from a community organizational perspective, as we're aiming to be a community that's building community beyond superstition, that is progressive thinking, people-centric, and life-affirming. The goal is to exist whether anybody else wants us to or not. That's self-determination.
Yeah.
That's self-determination. Self-determination is the power or ability to make decisions for oneself without external influence, especially in the context of economic agency. And what we want is for BridgeCity Global to exist as a community, whether the church world gets mad, the religious world gets mad, whatever else world gets mad, because we are comprised of self-determined individuals, which this is critical for fostering autonomy, empowerment, and a sense of ownership within a community. There are other self-determined communities that we can learn from historically. There's the Rochdale Society of Equitable Pioneers in the 19th century, in which I was going to, which I don't think I have time today. I wanted to walk through some of their principles of cooperative economies, which I thought were very, very good and are worth sharing. So I will likely share them in our Discord. I'll maybe put them in a special document, create a book around them or something, because they are really, really, they're really, really in alignment with the work that we're doing as a community. But then you can also study mutual aid societies. And a great example of a Black mutual aid society was, drum roll please, the Black Panthers. The Black Panther parties were a great example of a mutual aid society where pretty much they were the pioneers of a free breakfast program that was, largely successful. That's the power of community, I think as we see our community begin to grow it more and more in local spurs, we're going to see some amazing things. But that one's exciting. And then, I got to scroll down some more. And then, of course, grassroots community efforts, which is pretty much what we are. We are reclaiming our own sense of economy through self-organized projects. And the more we expand, we can get into things like community gardens, housing co-ops, different types of local unions and everything. While keeping in mind that the barriers to self-determination as a community are similar to the barriers of self-determination as an individual. Systemic oppression cannot be understated, or cannot be overstated, including economic inequality and discriminatory policies, which was why it was so important for us to make sure that we stress to the people in our community that we don't value people by their money currency. Money is one out of a million ways you can contribute, especially in this world, especially in this day and age. And a part of that is because, like, we know how fucking hard it is to have money.
Yeah.
It's hard out here. And so and I think we've kind of kept that posture ever since we've started. I don't want that being a pressure for anybody. I don't want you second guessing yourself, especially while we're talking about economics. I don't want you second guessing yourself thinking, oh, well, man, I don't have anything to give economically. Baby, if you're giving us your attention, you're giving us something. If you're giving us your time, you're giving us something. If you're giving us your energy, you're giving us something. And I don't mean that in some little cute, romantic, flowery way. I mean that is absolutely tangible. You are absolutely helping this community to exist and helping this community generate an income for itself. So no, all of us are valuable, but that's not even just for you to feel good about yourself. It's just for you to also know all of the different ways that you can provide value.
Right.
You know
what? Not to take this funny, but when you like, it's hard for everybody. It popped in my mind. It's not just hard for pimps. Remember that? It's hard.
It's hard out here for pimps. It's not just hard for pimps. It's hard for everybody.
Yeah.
Pimping ain't easy. Shit, living ain't easy. Hell. Waking up ain't easy sometimes when you get this age. Hey, what?
And we went skating yesterday.
Oh, we did. Well, I just jumped out there a few times and jumped back. Like the first time I skated, I pulled something. That's what I've always did. I still skate like a big boy. I don't realize I've lost a lot of weight yet, so I don't do a lot of movement and dancing. Yeah.
But our takeaway that we want you to get from today is that self-determination is both a personal and a communal. Did I just add a letter?
You did. Communal. It's like a Ladea or something, hallelujah. You went there with it.
Communal responsibility by leveraging individual strength and fostering collective effort. Okay, we can define our community's economic trajectory and create a model that reflects shared values and shared goals. Okay, you're thank you, Cal. Human history shows us the economies thrive. What is going?
I don't know.
Light, y'all. I have a light right here, and it's making my eyes so watery, and I'm just in the booth today.
It's the light of the Lord. Hallelujah.
In the light. Stay in the light.
Don't go in the light, Caroline.
Yes. So human history shows us that economies thrive when people take ownership of their futures, as we are doing, okay?
Yes.
So as we embark on this journey of human economics, let's commit to embracing self-determination, all right? Not just as a principle, but as a practice that empowers individuals and builds stronger, more resilient communities. That's the takeaway, y'all.
And so when you think about it, we've as a species, we've come a long way. We've come this far. Thankfully, none of us have to sign up to be hunters or gatherers anymore, unless you like that kind of thing. Well, we do have pickers and packers, though. You still can be a picker or a packer.
And people will put it on their, y'all. People will put that on their resume that they were a pick and packer. And it's like, you can adjust your title.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But we've come this far, and we can. There's so many different things that the human species can do that's valuable. Someone just being able to sing is a value. As you can see, we need more people who can do music. Someone who can just be able to be nice to people in a world like this is incredibly valuable. Yeah. You can ask the hospitality industry how hard it is sometimes to find people who just know how to treat people right. I just want you to treat people right. That's all. That's all you got. And so if that's something you're really good at, you need to start wearing that like a badge of honor. Mm-hmm. That's your superpower. That's something you have that can make an incredible difference in somebody's life. And this community can serve as the catalyst for you to provide that superpower. Some of you got 99 problems, but organizing ain't one. Mm-hmm. That could be your superpower. That could be your superpower. That's what you can contribute to global progress, to social change. everybody doesn't have to be the person who's knocking the wall down. You know, somebody has to make the hammers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to get to the wall somehow. Other people got to read about the wall coming down. You know, I want to make sure that that's always a theme in many of our conversations, that please don't devalue your contribution. See it, value it, add to it, and watch us change the world together. Watch us create communities that are safe spaces, and watch those communities become examples for other communities. And that's what will help us create a vast network across this globe, where when anybody is in need, we can support. You know? And so with that being said, this is the opportunity where, like, if you're looking, or if you're thinking about getting involved with any type of secular community, and you want to be a part of something that's actually making a difference, this would be a good time to get involved. We're still growing. I know we've experienced significant growth this year, but we're still young. It's still a baby operation. So we're young enough for you to get in here and tell us what you think. So if you're looking to be a part of something, to help out, if you're looking to be a part of something just to be a part so you can feel like you belong, just because you want a safe space to be able to talk authentically and be yourself and not have to feel like you got to jump on anybody else's bandwagon to fit in, we love to have you as a part of this community. Our goal is to build community beyond superstition that is progressive thinking, people-centric, and life-affirming. Our values are that we want this space to be safe, soft, secure, and sound. And the ultimate goal is to create experiences, projects, and programs that result in healthier people, healthier relationships, and healthier outcomes. That's my elevator pitch. My elevator pitch. I think I said pitch. You did it. You did it. Dang, I'm messing me up. You're talking elevator speech. That kind of sounds like yo, spitch.
We rapping.
Yo, elevator spitch. Be gone, spitches. You know, pimps up, spitches down. You know, like, man.
Do the twos.
This was supposed to be all deep. This is supposed to be the altar call. Like this, I can't even get through the altar call without cussing. Shit, motherfucker. But if you want to be a part of something where we have fun like this while also trying to change the world, please let us know. If you type I am here in the chat, one of our hosts will definitely introduce themselves to you and try to get you connected to our Discord, which is where we do community at. You know, we do community in our Discord. That's where we're growing. Está aquí. Está aquí. Let me está allá. There. Oh, that's what they got to put. Oh, I'm here. Okay, yeah. I'm like, they ain't in the Discord yet. Okay. But yeah, if you love to be a part of what we're doing, type I am here in the chat. One of our hosts will reach out to you and try to get you connected over to our Discord. They'll make sure you have the links to let us know and to sign up and all of that jazz. And so I think I've said all of my part. Are you doing the support?
Yeah. Okay.
So before you do the support, spitch ass spitch. Yes, I love that. Oh, spitch ass spitches. I'm doing close. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll just do support and then you close. Okay. I'll do support. I'm a smoker, so I'll be trying to get up as soon as I can. But okay, so let me go to the support tab.
What do you support?
Yeah. Oh man. I support good music and good times and good food. I'll be glad. I am looking forward to a day when a good bit of us can get together, eat together, and just have a good time. Yeah,
play spades or not play spades?
Oh, we play spades. Yes, if you talk trash, I'm gonna talk trash back. I just want you to know.
Samuel Jackson is everyday life.
Everyday life. I tell people I can go from Reading Rainbow to Rick Ross in 10 seconds. Don't fuck with me. Now let me stop. So again, man, thank you all for being a part of this community and these conversations that are really helping us all grow as individuals and in the community, giving us all something to chew on and giving us insight and strategy into how we can build healthy communities. if it hasn't been made obvious yet, we're serious about making a tangible impact. And your financial contributions can empower us to accelerate progress and development in key areas across the globe. So if you value these conversations and the work that we're doing as a global community, we've definitely made it easier for you to support. Actually, YouTube and Patreon has really done all of the hard work. So glad to see that we got an I am here in the chat. Awesome. Our host, can y'all make sure we get them the link to our forum and our link to our Discord so we can get them connected. That is welcome in. Welcome in. If this was at church, we'd all be clapping. Somebody would be hugging you right now and crying over you and saying, you just made the best decision of your life. Everything gonna be all right. You get all that. But no, thank you so much for being here. Today I did want to do something a little different for the offering period. We just got real churchy today. Today, if we could, I think we still do have the PayPal link. Let's put the PayPal thing on the screen and in the chat. Obviously, we're always grateful for the things that you give to us. Today, I'm going to raise a special offering, if you will, as we used to say it in the church. We do have a member of our community who's currently struggling, and I'm not going to say any much more than that. But this is an opportunity for us as a community to do something that can be a small token, a gesture of support. And let me just make this clear for people who are watching this now or later, even if you're watching this later, because we have people who come back for the 5 o'clock show and the 10 o'clock show, or just whenever the fuck they show up show, because that's how we capture the videos and stuff. But if I was a pastor, this is what I would do. Somebody in my community is struggling, then this is what we do. But not even if I was a pastor. I've been a substitute teacher. I've been a mentor. This is what you do when somebody is in need. And my wife and I, we've already sent a gift of support. But what we'd love to do, we have a program called Help and Hope that we can't wait to get back reinstated. But the singular ideal behind this program is that it's so much easier for a group to help one person than it is for one person to help a group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had really spent the majority of my life trying to be that one person that was helping everybody. But then I realized, like, man, even when it's a big need, having groups can break that need down. And so if we can, let's put the PayPal thing on the screen too. I have it. It should be one of the slides. So that anybody who has the QR code, I'm asking specifically if you're interested in helping out, if you would either send a gift your gift of support to our PayPal, which is BridgeCity's PayPal. And you can use the QR code on the screen, or you can use the link in the chat. Or you can also send it to my personal Cashapp, because I can't get into the BridgeCity Cashapp. But in my Cashapp is my name, Cashapp sign DaranteLaMar, which I guess is just $ DaranteLaMar. But if you'd like to make a difference in somebody's life who's a member in this community, a supporter of this community, it's one of the people in this community. So I can't say too much because that could reveal too much. But it's a member of the community. That should be all that matters, period. It's a person. That should be all that matters. Here's an opportunity to help a person. Here's an opportunity to help somebody. I have tons of positive things to say about this person. But honestly, that shouldn't even matter. It's a person. If it was a random stranger, we should feel the same type of tug, you know? And so now, obviously, if you are financially strapped yourself, I will never be asking you to do anything that you can't afford to do. I don't know what you can afford. If you can't afford to do anything, baby, send your thoughts and prayers and be okay. Trust me. Can't nobody miss what you ain't got, you know? So that's not what this is for. But if you are somebody and you say, I can give $1, I can give $5, I can give something, please, this is your opportunity. You can send it again to my Cashapp DaranteLaMar, or send it to our BridgeCity PayPal. And the reason I'm asking you to do the PayPal or the BridgeCity as opposed to a super chat or anything like that right now, so that way we can get this to them immediately as it comes in. If you do the Cash App, just please put a note that this is to help somebody. That'll work for me. And I think you can leave notes on PayPal too.
Yeah. What choice do you want us to select on PayPal?
Oh, snap. I forgot what the choices were on PayPal. See, this is why we need more help. Because I don't even know what the choices are. How do I get there? I need to copy and paste that link, right? Oh, I can't get it that way. No.
Community missions. Yeah.
Yep, community missions. Yep, that'll do it. Thank you. I forgot Thank you. And this is, as our community gets more stable and gets stronger, these are things that many times we won't even have to make an appeal for. Because one of the beautiful things, and this kind of ties back into today's conversation, one of the beautiful things about human economics is we have created a situation for ourselves, however long this wave lasts, where we can build a membership-based organization that isn't necessarily dependent on member donations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just by our members, which again, we've talked about, and I'll be talking about a lot because I just want everybody to get it. Just by our members supporting and engaging our videos, they're creating a stream of revenue. The bigger that stream of revenue becomes, that also attracts sponsors and stuff like that. And so then that does create the opportunity to be a member-based organization without having to solely depend on the members' financial standing for the organization's success, which then allows, anytime something is happening and our members need support, we won't always have to come and be like, hey, let's see what we can do, which we shouldn't be averse to that. I mean, that's the whole point of community. But honestly, I think the better we get, or the more infrastructure we get and the more organized we get, I think things like this many times will just be unspoken. Someone will be in need and be able to reach out to somebody in our membership department, membership team, and bam, taken care of, because that's the whole fucking point, is that we don't, the whole point is for people not to have to be dealing with harm, for people not to have to be dealing with struggle, to create these soft and safe spaces for people, not just so that we can come together in these conversations and be all nice and friendly and have fun, but no, we can actually do the work. One of my favorite one of my favorite mentors who passed a long time ago, one of the things that he used to say that I absolutely love, he said, make that shanda handa mean something. You know what I'm saying? Right. You at church, hadi shanda, doing all that shit, and then people going home and getting beat the fuck up by their spouses. And like, so church has to be more than just this celebration. And I think that the secular community, that's a lesson that we can learn early, that it has to be more than just sensationalism and who's the next big bad villain and what we're mad at, because we got people in our communities who are struggling. We got people in our communities who can't find a way to stand. We got people in our communities who need opportunity. And so we need to be, I think we have an obligation to be creating a foundational economy for those who exist outside of the dominant culture, because that's the only way they're ever really going to be able to help support change. You can't help support change if you can barely afford to eat.
True that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's why today's conversation was important, because that's exactly what coming together, being cooperative together, sharing resources together help us to do things like this.
Absolutely. So thank you all for helping us in this and participating in this segment. This was not planned. This person is probably shocked right now. They may be cussing me out a little bit because I didn't tell them that I was going to do this, and I didn't ask their permission, because they probably would have said no. But I just did it any damn way and didn't say their name. So hopefully they won't be too mad at me. But that's the power of community. And if you know anybody who you think would want to help, please direct them to this video and this appeal, and let them know that, hey, here's a great way that you can make a small difference in somebody's life. And, you know, not that it matters, but this person is actually doing a lot of work in the secular community, not just with ours either, you know, so it's big. All right, I'm gonna shut up. I've talked too much.
Yes.
And I'm gonna roll out the way because I can do that.
We have space. I love it now.
Yes.
We're bumping to each other today. But thank you all so much for joining us today for our Sunday sessions. We hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you took some notes. If you're like me, you have a notebook, journal, because I have a lot of notebooks, okay? I love to write stuff down. So thank you so much. Don't forget, after the live, once we hit end, go ahead and jump back in the chat and, you know, post a little something, how great the conversation was, what you learned, just something nice, whatever it is, so that it can get more of a boost as well, right? Because live chats go away. We don't see them, all right? We don't see them once it's done. So we need you to come on back. Come on back, friends, okay? But we appreciate you all. Consider coming back next week. Bring a friend. Don't forget, we will still have Bible study with the ex-pastor. You won't see me on Wednesdays, but I'll be in the background, okay? I'll be with y'all in the chat. But thank you so much. And remember that we so appreciate all of your contributions. We appreciate you listening to us for about 2 hours, you know. So we definitely appreciate that. And don't forget to join us on Discord. That is our central campus. That's where you'll see people, other members communicating, networking, and things of that nature. Sometimes we even have game nights, to look for that within the new year as well. And after these sessions, we also have a post-session hangout, which sometimes we have our members come in and join, and sometimes we're able to jump in once in a while on that as well. All right, so we kept you long enough. Thank you again. It's been a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week, whether you celebrate the holidays or not. Try to make the next day your best day and keep it going step by step, all right? I feel like I was about to sing a song, step by step, day by day, you know. All right. So until next time, always remember to keep rising and to be the bridge. Ooh.
I don't want to waste my life. It's just some things, there's no going back. You know what I'm saying?
jwoodbeats.com.
Yeah, I'm not the one with the issues. I hear you. Now here is your tissue. If I'm moving too fast, I might have to dismiss you. And it's really too bad, cause I really will miss you. But I'm not the one with the issues. I left him at church when I made it official. I murdered the curse with my own benediction. Left God in the dirt, call it death of the fiction. Superstition will be served an eviction. Competition will be left in the ditch. Oh my God, it's too damn hot in this kitchen. The fishes of men are now swimming with fishes. Oops, my bad, I guess I'm moving too vicious. Verses sold, I gotta put them on your wish list. Bless my soul, cause I'm dodging your little hit list. I guess you know, you just lost another witness.
Gotta let me go, gotta let me go, gotta let me go. Gotta let me go, gotta let me go, gotta let me go right now. Gotta let me go, gotta let me go, gotta let me go. Gotta let me go, gotta let me go, gotta let me go right now.